Oh, that's running. They honed every.
MBFL Season 11 brings a lot more than Whitney Way, Thor on a manhunt, but she does reveal that she made out with her ex, Lenny Alahat. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, My Big Fat Fabulous Life. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. So, how did that work out for her? Read on to find out if old love is back in the air for the TLC star. MBFL fans saw Lenny Alahat push towards Whitney. Over the past few seasons, Lenny featured quite a lot. Recall, after the anonymous French tutor couldn't arrive stateside because of COVID, he and Whitney went into an open relationship, and that seemed like a useful way to bring him back if needs be. Anyway, off went Whitney and friends to a tropical paradise island, and Lenny danced with another woman. Of course, Whitney got all 7 shapes of sideways upset. And yet, they never really revamped their old romance. MBFL fans saw that on her social media. Lenny featured a lot, and in between seasons, TLC fans can often get takeaways about upcoming seasons. However, there were hints that the French tutor might be back, which was a downer for fans who disbelieved that storyline. Last year, My Big Fat Fabulous Life fans saw that Lenny actually overnighted with Whitney, and Hunter caught them sharing a bed. Allegedly, nothing happened, and the pair just slept together, presumably the innocent sleep of childhood besties. But will they go next level in Season 11? MBFL spoilers. Whitney Way Thor making out with Lenny. The trailer for the new season of the TLC show reveals a lot about Whitney's dad, Glenn. She and her brother made up a bucket list for him so he can enjoy life again. Of course, the much-talked-about funeral of Glenn's wife, Babs, will also be televised. Additionally, an old love child of Glenn's makes her arrival on the show. In fact, there's quite a lot to unpack. At one stage, Whitney ended up rescued off a mountain in Switzerland after suffering from altitude sickness. MBFL wouldn't be the same if Whitney Way Thor wasn't looking for a man. Not disappointing. Once again, she's on a full hunt. So she went online and looked at dating sites. There, she discovered Hunter's dating profile and claimed she was dead. Meanwhile, it seems that Lenny has also been hunting around. But along the way, he and Whitney made out. By her own admission, she said that it happened. Was it rekindled love at Lip Lock Ground Zero? Lenny found someone else. When People magazine shared the latest preview for MBFL Season 11, the outlet cited Whitney as saying, "I make out with an ex, and then they immediately find themselves in a happy and successful relationship." However, things didn't go as well for Whitney, who described dating as abysmal, and that she wished she could also find love. Will you tune into the season premiere of My Big Fat Fabulous Life? It all kicks off on Tuesday, September 5 on TLC. Follow TV shows Ace Online to keep up with Whitney Way Thor and the rest of the cast. The filming of the latest season of My Big Fat Fabulous Life was underway, and Whitney Way Thor was excited to share more of her life and adventures with her fans. As the show continued to chronicle her journey, viewers were eager to see what surprises and developments would unfold. One of the biggest shocks came during a night out with friends, which resulted in a moment that no one saw coming. Whitney making out with her ex-boyfriend Lenny Alahat. The night started like any other, with Whitney and her close-knit group of friends heading out to one of their favorite bars. It was meant to be a fun, carefree evening filled with laughter, dancing, and good times. Lenny, who had remained friends with Whitney after their breakup, joined the group. The two had always shared a special bond, and despite their romantic past, they had managed to stay close. As the night progressed, the group enjoyed drinks, danced to their favorite songs, and reminisced about old times. The atmosphere was lively, and the energy in the room was infectious. Whitney and Lenny found themselves drawn to each other, their old chemistry resurfacing amidst the revelry. Whitney and Lenny had always shared a deep connection. Their relationship had its ups and downs, but there was an undeniable spark between them. As the night wore on, the two found themselves talking more closely, laughing, and sharing moments that felt almost like old times. Their friends noticed the chemistry, exchanging knowing glances, but letting the moment unfold naturally. Whitney had always been open about her feelings and relationships on the show. Her fans knew the history between her and Lenny and had witnessed their relationship evolve over time. The possibility of rekindling that old flame added an unexpected twist to the night. As the evening reached its peak, the group decided to move the party to the dance floor. The music was loud, the lights were flashing, and the atmosphere was electric. Whitney and Lenny danced together, their movements in sync, their laughter blending with the music. The tension between them grew, and it was clear to everyone that something significant was happening. In a moment that would become one of the most talked about scenes of the season, Whitney and Lenny found themselves alone in a quieter corner of the bar. The music still played in the background, but the world seemed to fade away as they looked into each other's eyes. Without saying a word, they moved closer, and then it happened. They kissed. The kiss was passionate and intense, filled with the emotions and memories of their past relationship. It was as if no time had passed, and for that brief moment, they were back together, sharing a connection that had never truly faded. The cameras captured every second, ensuring that this unexpected turn of events would be shared with their fans. Whitney and Lenny pulled away, breathless and wide-eyed, realizing the gravity of what had just happened. The moment was both thrilling and confusing, leaving them both with a mix of emotions. The next morning, Whitney woke up with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The previous night felt like a dream, and she couldn't stop replaying the kiss in her mind. She knew that things would be different now, and that she and Lenny needed to talk about what had happened. Lenny, too, was processing the events of the night before. He had always cared deeply for Whitney, and the kiss had stirred up old feelings. He knew they needed to have an honest conversation about their emotions and what this meant for their future. Whitney decided to meet Lenny for breakfast at their favorite cafe. As they sat down, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of anticipation and uncertainty. They both knew that their friendship and their future were at a crossroads. Whitney and Lenny looked at each other across the table, the weight of their shared history heavy in the air. They both knew that what they had experienced the night before could not be ignored. Last night was unexpected. Whitney began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. I didn't plan for it to happen, but it did. And now we need to figure out what it means. Lenny nodded, his eyes reflecting the same mix of emotions. I know, Whit. I've been thinking about it all morning. I care about you a lot, and last night brought back a lot of feelings I thought I had moved past. They talked for hours, discussing their past relationship, their current feelings, and their hopes for the future. Both acknowledged that their connection was undeniable, but they also knew that jumping back into a relationship without careful consideration could lead to more hurt. Whitney and Lenny agreed to take things slowly and see where their renewed feelings might lead. They wanted to be sure that any decision they made was based on genuine emotions and not just the nostalgia of a past relationship. After their conversation, Whitney and Lenny knew they needed to share the news with their friends. Their group had always been supportive and involved in each other's lives, and this development was significant. They gathered their friends at Whitney's house, wanting to have the conversation in a comfortable and familiar setting. As they shared the story of their kiss and their decision to explore their feelings slowly, the reactions were mixed but supportive. Buddy Bell, Whitney's best friend, was the first to speak up. I've always thought you two had something special, he said, smiling. As long as you're both happy and honest with each other, I'm all for it. The rest of the group echoed Buddy's sentiments, offering their encouragement and advice. They all knew that relationships were complicated and that Whitney and Lenny's journey would not be straightforward. But they also knew that the bond between them was real and worth exploring. As the new season aired, fans were eager to see the latest developments in Whitney's life. The episode featuring the kiss with Lenny quickly became one of the most talked about moments of the season. Social media was abuzz with reactions, opinions, and speculations about what this meant for Whitney and Lenny's future. Some fans were thrilled at the possibility of Whitney and Lenny getting back together, reminiscing about the chemistry they had always shared. Others were more cautious, hoping that Whitney would proceed with care and protect her heart. Whitney took to social media to address her fans directly. In a heartfelt post, she thanked them for their support and assured them that she and Lenny were taking things one step at a time. She shared that they were focused on building a strong foundation and seeing where their renewed connection might lead.